Hello! Welcome to episode 4 of our Stranger Things Season 2 commentary. This one is entitled Will the Wise.
So wise.
So wise.
Except for taking Bob's advice. That was not wise.
Yeah, that was not wise.
That was terrible.
The one time you didn't act like a little rebellious shit. And look at that, got you. He doesn't normally act that way, I guess. Yeah, what is going on? Yeah, now it's very interesting to see what that whole thing looked like, but like in our dimension. It's a little less epic.
So is Dart still under Dustin's hat this whole time?
I think so.
That's horrible.
That's so weird to think that like that's happening at the same time.
Mm-hmm. I kind of picture it's almost like extreme sleepwalking, but it's almost like,
Kind of. It's basically like his mind is out of phase with reality. It's like he's not going to the upside down per se.
Yeah.
But his mind is there. So he's kind of like in a vegetative state in our world. You guys can't see this, but she's doing a really like intense interpretive dance as we speak. Look at her go. Look at her go. Look at her go. Wow. That was good. No, that was really good. I was very impressed by that.
We always make the joke that this is kind of like weirdly sensual, like baby making music.
I'd make some weird
some strange babies with it.
I'd make some strange babies with it. There'll be some strange babies.
We need the extended edition of this song then.
Whoa.
I'm so sorry.
I said it before, I still love how that 2 comes up. It's like, whoosh. It's cool. I hope they keep that for season 3 when the 3 comes up.
Will the Wise.
And now this is where kind of the Lovecraftian influence the Duffer Brothers have admittedly, pulled from really starts to kind of kick in terms of this show. I mean, it was very kind of I think subversive before, but now it's really going to be pushed to the forefront. Which again, I like the fact that this season went in that direction, cosmic horror, because it's a very old form of horror, and it's also a very kind of a neoclassical American style of horror. I mean, it was really Lovecraft who developed that style, so it's kind of a very kind of, it's really kind of a strangely kind of American aesthetic in terms of that kind of horror that's been adopted all over the world. So I don't know, but you don't see it as much in pop culture as you would think. I mean, the horror is usually a lot of like kind of traditional, monsters, werewolves, slasher, murder, even like psychological. But this is very much a genre unto itself, and I think Stranger Things by design is a great kind of lends itself very well to it. So I think it's very cool that the Duffer Brothers kind of took the show this direction. Now look here. I didn't notice this before, but you can already tell there's something different. Like his eyes, the way he stares. If you notice, it looks like he doesn't blink as much. Yeah, have you noticed that he's not blinking?
Yeah.
I know, I can't remember her name. I'm going to look it up right now. But it's a kind of a technique. Like the actress from Crimson Peaks who played the bad sister character. If you looked at her Jessica Chastain, if you watch her in that movie, she always has there's always something very haunting about her. And every time she's on camera, she doesn't blink.
Yeah.
And she purposely did it where she did not blink because it automatically creates a very kind of offsetting mood. Because it's one of those things you don't notice a person blinking, but when they don't blink, there's something very off-putting. You might not notice that they're not blinking, but something in the way they look at you doesn't seem right. And I like how that's what he's doing. Even now, while he does a little bit here when it's him, when it's Will. Mm-hmm. And I notice there's moments later on in this season when you can kind of tell when this entity kind of reestablishes its hold on him. Something in the way he looks changes. His eyes widen ever so slightly, and the blinking just stops. And that's when you know. It's a very subtle characteristic, or change in characteristic and physical mannerisms, but it's so effective. Tell him, Joyce. Gosh, she wins Mom of the Year for both these seasons.
I
Like,
know.
I think she's definitely the mom everyone wants. Can be a little overbearing sometimes, be a little pushy, but man, when an interdimensional being takes control of you, shit, you
Also,
ooh, that shot.
I know,
That's
that's a great shot.
You are in deep shit shot.
oh, not late for once, huh?
Yeah, it's so funny she says that. Look at, she knows it. She's like, let's get this over with. Probably one of my favorite scenes is coming up. And I'm looking at him there. He's like, let's get it on. Here we go. Here we go. It's the epic throwdown of the century.
I know, right?
11 and Hopper. I just want to hear that ding ding, that bell ring. It's funny. Apparently, David Arbor, the actor who plays Hopper here, he even said that, or Millie Bob Brown was saying that, yeah, that on this day, like he was purposely keeping a distance from her, not talking to her, so he could kind of create this tension in the air. Here. God, he's just like, oh.
They're both pretty brutal, though.
I know. Well, that's the thing. They're like, you can. But it's one of those things. As dirty as this fight scene, it's necessary.
Yeah.
You could tell they're both so stressed from the circumstances that they have to just get this out of their system. You know what I mean? Oh, look at that. We've been waiting for this. The psychic temper tantrum.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, nope. Oh, Cheers was on. You put Ted Danson back on! Again, nothing he's saying is wrong. Ooh, shots fired. There we go. Look at him. Again, it's terrible, but this is one of those fights where it's like, it needed to happen. You know what I mean? Again. Again, he's not wrong. Ooh. And apparently they thought up a lot of this stuff on the day. And the effects team, like, set it all up.
Yeah. I love the door.
That was her idea, I think they said. And apparently this shot here, they did it for real. The glass breaking.
Jesus.
And that was him in frame. That was not enough. I mean, it was an effect, but it was a practical effect.
Oh yeah, you can see the shards on him.
Again, it's probably one of my favorite scenes in this whole season, just because it's just like.
I think there were some good and some bad times.
Well, yeah, and again, you realize that she is a normal girl, but because she's abnormal, when she has a normal kid response to a situation like that, to like what she feels as an overbearing parent, her reactions are magnified because of her ability. So now her slamming a door or screaming results in like the glass shattering, tables being knocked over. But it comes from the same place that like a normal kid would go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just they have to be more careful because she's, psychokinetic. Yeah, I love how this feeling of like, I mean, I know people's eyes do that when they dream, but I kind of get the sense like it's this entity kind of strips of the entity moving behind his eyes, like it's looking around.
Am I invited?
It is funny, they had a bigger budget this season because they got more hits from the 80s.
Yeah.
Because, these songs don't necessarily come cheap, folks. Now we're have these two gallivanting off together. Poor Joyce on the phone
I
again.
don't know.
It's just so funny. I know I said it, but God, she is just always like, she's always going through some shit. But no, I love now this part where, again, there's just something off now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And of course, now that we know what it is, obviously, and again, we're viewing this from a kind of as a retrospective. So there's a lot of things now that we're seeing.
It's a cooler.
Oh. Again, the whole temperature thing. It's again, if you guys don't remember when they first had Dart, when Dustin put him in the
heat lamp.
Yeah, that right away it had an aversion to the heat, and now we have Will, who had a very close encounter, and now his temperature is lowered. And there's going to be more leading into that. There's subtle clues and nods about kind of the nature of what is essentially kind of not just taking over Will, but kind of what the Upside Down is. Our cats do that move.
Trying to make him look cute. Still feeding him that nougat.
He looks so cute there, but when we see him again,
yeah. The next time.
it's interesting how they made Dustin such a centralized character in this season. I mean, obviously he was from the first season. He was a season favorite, but I found the thing they made of shit
Nasty.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think it's very interesting how they managed to work him in as kind of a central figure to the narrative, what's going on. Oh.
Thanks.
Not having it.
I'll leave.
He's like, yeah, I can get to head back.
It's like, don't you guys think you would have found him by now? Ugh.
Oh. Again, I love how the teacher is always kind of like the narrator to kind of the biology of what's going on. He did the same thing in season 1 with the Demogorgon. I mean, he's always doing so unknowingly, but I like how they always kind of use like his lessons and lectures as kind of like metaphors for like the science behind what is going on or what the threat is. She's like, God damn it, Harbor!
Boy, you must be crazy. Wasting water, you son of a bitch!
Ooh, yeah. I mean, yeah, what? Who's that in the other room? When I first saw the shot, I thought he was like nailing her into like barricading her door shut. Like,
I don't think that helped.
You ain't gonna throw couches at me again. So, last night was crazy, huh? We've all been there. The day after a huge blow up, it's just like, so. You said some shit, I said some shit. Listen, we all said
blew
some shit.
shit up.
Yeah. You threw a couch at me. Which is Hopper's way of showing that he's a softie. It's like, alright, I'll fix TV. But you gotta do the thing that I want.
Well, you could tell that's not really what he wanted to do, but he's trying to be tough.
Well, yeah, because that's the only way he knows how to be. So he thinks that, hey, to be a good dad is to basically be kind of this super tough, no nonsense. Which, in certain ways, he's right. Again, though, depending on the nature of the kid, you got to approach differently. And 11 doesn't really respond well to these kind of bullyish, domineering father figures.
I feel bad because obviously everyone thinks Joyce is crazy still. Especially when she does shit like this. But obviously no one else knows, so it's just like a whole thing.
Love this music.
This guy.
God, I love this guy. He's just such a... He exists just to be an asshole.
I know.
Yeah!
Douche.
I mean, to be fair, he's giving him good advice, so...
Oh, God, this is so weird. This scene is so weird.
Why?
I don't know. I'm just
This isn't like your dream come true? You don't want to just kind of like rise up in between them?
No.
Like, hey boys, can I,
Especially now with Cobra Kai kid
can
over
I wash
here.
your back? No, that's not you, alright.
That's what makes it weird. And
Oh,
he's just a
bad
douche.
boy.
Then he shuts the water off. I'm like, really? Just...
Oh, God. He's so cool.
Such a douche.
Oh, Jesus.
That's scary.
The scene not to watch in 3D. Alright, so now we're kind of seeing that whole kind of scene that we saw in the last episode come to fruition. Again, even right up to again, I love this whole thing plays up right up to the very end, and you think it's one thing, and again, it had us fooled too. Mm-hmm. And then you realize that no, it's something completely different, and it's so damn clever how they do it. So it's one of those weird things I've always wondered too. If I thought I was being watched by government officials, like looking around, like what would you look for? Like what would be the tales? You know what I mean? And you always see stuff like this where it's people like standing around and doing stuff, but they're not really going anywhere. Mm-hmm. That face was so that duck.
The secret is it's actually the children that are the government agents, not the adults.
So funny. The kids all jump out, pull out guns. They kneecap them.
These are our young undercovers.
These are all our Gary Coleman agents. They all have that thing that Gary Coleman had. Or like what Webster had. Where he didn't grow past the age of like 9. Mm. Super intense music.
I'm just, quickly, nonchalantly walking towards you suspiciously.
Well, I think at this point they know the jig is up.
Oh, I know. My puppy's the best agent on the team. If you want to come and take a ride with me.
Stop. The dog is like, woof, woof, come with us.
Under arrest. But not really.
I'm Agent Woof Woof. So stupid. Don't laugh at that. Don't laugh at Agent Woof Woof. That's McGruff the crime dog. Oh my god, that's who he kind of reminds me of.
Oh my God.
A human version of McGruff the crime dog. Oh my god, that's awesome. Is McGruff the crime dog even still a thing? Is he still around? Please
I
leave
have
us
no
in the
idea.
comment section below. Hopper's like, oh god, what?
I know.
What now?
It's like, well, at least there's no lights yet.
It's not creepy at all. Yeah, again, it's really subtle in his performance, but you can always kind of tell when it's him versus the shadow thing, which it will have a name, but just for the sake of,
Yeah.
Timeline, we'll wait to call it what it is until they kind of name drop it. It's just kind of funny because now it's like Will has escaped the Upside Down, but it's like the Upside Down came back with him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So in a weird way, that's how the Upside Down has a presence in this season. It's constantly basically like it's infiltrating the world, our world, with an avatar, basically. Whereas like the Demogorgon was kind of from there, Will is from here, but it's using Will as like a host body. And I like how this time around it's like this thing basically is the Upside Down. It's like the Upside Down itself is the monster as opposed to
Yeah.
a monster from the Upside Down.
And it's so funny. I was going to say it before, but this is some of the first time we're really seeing a wide range of emotion on Will. Because obviously in season 1 you barely saw him. And when
Yeah.
you did, he looked scared. But like, he's actually one of the best actors of the
In
kids.
terms of acting, I
Yeah.
would say he's the breakout of this season. Because again, that was one of the things too. There we go, Will the Wise. It's one of those things where we were always kind of wondering, like, when you thought of the dynamic of like the kids from the season 1, you always kind of forgot about Will because he wasn't there very much. But we were like, okay, what's it going to be like now that Will's there? Is he going to jive with them? Is he going to blend well? Because again, he really wasn't there, and then he ended up being like the most pleasant surprise this whole season. Like this kid just nails it. I mean, knocks it out of the park, and you haven't even seen the best from him yet.
Yeah.
He's just been kind of chilling for now. No pun intended, chilling because it's cold. But in the next few episodes, basically from here on out, he just steals the show. Like what he does, both as a physical actor and just kind of a dramatic actor, is just awesome. Like he is, he is again. He gives everybody else a run for their money.
Fun.
The little Apple logo in the background.
I know.
I remember when every school had that. Again, I just love how they're still using D&D as, but it's just so kind of funny because again, all this kind of stuff is so like metaphysical and all that even though D&D, I think the rules were kind of loosely written enough where it could kind of apply to this subject matter in a broad stroke. So in a weird way, like the D&D manuals and all that are kind of like teaching tools for what's going on. I mean, granted, that's a lot of it's by design from the Duffer Brothers, but it's just kind of cool. Like because of D&D, these kids kind of have an edge in knowing what's going on. Ironically, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I know he was trying to punish her, but I do feel bad for her because being, essentially stuck in that cabin, that's the only kind of lifeline she has. So I do feel bad that he.
Yeah, well, I
fucked
think
it up.
that's kind of why he did it. I mean, it was like he had a heated decision. Like he was angry.
Oh, I know.
He just wanted to punish her. Again, it's one of those things where I think he would have relented on that like the next day and like, yeah, you can watch it. You know what I mean? I think it's one of those moments they were just both frustrated and tired and jam and just angry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You say and do things sometimes that you regret later, but it's just in the moment. It's just like it's war. You want to get to that person in any way you can. So he knew that the TV was kind of like her thing.
Yeah. She's like, the fuck is this?
And I think right here it kind of is really the beginning of like Eleven's odyssey, like kind of her opening up that chapter. I was kind of thinking a bit of a metaphor for, her kind of reopening her past, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I know we see some stuff later on in the season, but I've also wondered, has she ever tried to levitate herself? If she can move like a couch or something, which would weigh more than her.
Yeah.
In theory, she can really kind of just pick herself up and move. I'm wondering if they're saving that for later seasons.
I know.
You see her flying around Superman style. Okay, so obviously now they've been brought back to Hawkins' lab. Again, this is seemingly them being victimized. Hello. Hello.
That's the thing. Would Jonathan have recognized him? Would he have been here with Will before?
I don't know if he's gone here. I don't think he's been here. I'm sure Joyce probably wants to keep her family at a minimum.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to bring Will, but they don't have to bring John. They're like, no, let's. So right here, he's being friendly and funny and kind of charming. So like, okay, maybe they are the good guys, right? Maybe this is this isn't, they're not so bad kind of thing. And like I said, the show plays around with this whole notion very, very well. There's a lot of back and forth. And again, kind of explaining a little bit what's going on.
Yeah. Yes, show me.
Yeah, please do. It looks like it's getting bigger a little bit. And like right there, he's playing on the red fear right there, which again was still a very prevalent thing at this time, 1984.
Yeah.
And again, I like how we saw this scene early, and it was kind of almost a moment of levity. And now he's using the same thing, and he's layering in kind of what sounds almost like a threat.
It's a very friendly worded threat, basically.
Again, using very key specific words.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now we're back to thinking, oh, so maybe not so good after all, or
So there's a joke online, every art student before their deadline, and then it's the gift of doing this. I'm like, yeah, been there, bro.
Been there, bro.
Honestly, it's just crazy because obviously, again, this turns into a huge map of the entire town. And it's just so weird to think that Will's mind could kind of, I know it's not just his,
all
but
that.
yeah, time to destroy my house again. In a slightly less destructive way, at least, but.
Yeah. But I love how this works. And I know some people might think this is redundant of season 1, but I actually thought this was very clever.
Yeah. Not only that, but it's like, Will is the one affected, so it makes sense that, it would happen here.
Yeah. And I love, this kind of feels like the second act in a movie. Mm-hmm. Where now we're like, okay, we've had the shock of what's kind of happening. And now we get
slowly piecing it together.
Yeah, the investigative part of it, which I like. That. Well, let's figure out why. That's cool. wonder how long that would have realistically taken them.
Oh my god, so long, I bet.
Think of the art department who had to set all that up.
I know.
And now we're starting to. You're seeing this.
The pumpkins.
Yeah, and the pumpkins, and it's kind of implying that there's something growing, not just under us, but like it's growing into our world. Like our world is literally being infiltrated, which is a frightening concept. Because, like I said, the threat now is the Upside Down, not something from the Upside Down. Oh man. Yeah, it is. Feel bad for her. She's got no friends, and then these guys kind of include her, and then they kind of just put her through that shit. It's not cool.
Bitch, don't get over yourself.
Oh. Different. It's like, yo, let me trust me on this one. Oh.
Okay.
Just rolled up the sleeves on that jean jacket.
God, he just looks like such shit. That fucking like shitty ass, almost there mustache
I know.
makes him look like even more of a douche.
And he can grow a mustache too. That's the thing.
I know.
So the actor now has a mustache or like a goatee beard kind of thing. I don't know. He plays the part well.
I know.
Ooh. So I never quite understood this, like why him? At first I thought maybe it was a whole racist thing,
Yeah.
but that never goes anywhere with that. So I'm wondering if it's just because he's like, oh, I treat women like garbage, therefore a boy talking to her is probably just going to be the same as me. Like maybe he's just kind of vilifying all guys.
Honestly, I think it's more of a control thing. Because obviously, you kind of find out that his dad's...
Well, yeah, but again, why does it matter that I don't know.
think that it matters that it's
I think
him.
it's any guy, but I think it's more or less just
I
like,
think
hey,
it's just she's getting close to someone.
I think he wants her miserable.
Yeah. Because he's a miserable sack of shit.
Yeah.
God. Those pumpkins would just be literal mush by now. They wouldn't even be there anymore.
Now she's slowly digging into the past, kind of uncovering things, and that would be her first look at her mom right there.
I know.
And it's kind of funny too because obviously this was touched upon in season 1, but there's Matthew Modine. But we're gonna see a lot more what happened
Yeah.
and see with that time.
Give me that white noise. I need it.
She's your fix. And I think it's very clever, though, how she does this. I guess it kind of seems like wavelengths that she travels through. Like,
something like that.
yeah, and she has to kind of create some kind of sensory deprivation, like her eye. She can't see it. It's like
I think it's so she focuses less on what's in front of her and more on.
Well, I think it's like when you
search.
diminish or eliminate one sense, your others become stronger, and because she essentially has this sixth sense. So it's kind of like when basically people who go blind, their sense of hearing and taste and smell all increase. So if she's trying to increase, another sense, she automatically just removes one, and your sense of sight is your easiest one because you just cover your eyes and you're blind. So it kind of heightens the reach, I guess, her powers have. Again, I still love how they do this.
I know.
It's funny how she can just kind of find people in like a void.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things too where what she's saying here is kind of an indicator too.
Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of her first contact with her mom, kind of reaching her in a way that only she could.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so rough for her. Because again, everything she gets, it's like she feels she loses. And I mean, every time she has something that she wants, it feels like it's taken away. And again, I think that's also why, for her, when Hopper kind of took away the TV, that's why it kind of just it rubbed her so poorly. Because again, it's someone else.
Well, and she was already
away
upset over the thing with.
Well, yeah, she's upset, but I think it's also the act of him taking that away. Again, it's somebody with power over her who's denying something that makes her happy, one of the few things in her life that bring her joy, and they're depriving her of that. It's that act of doing so. It's like who better to ask? Like, get these kids involved. Yeah. You're surprised they don't know about this already?
Of course they know. They did know before she knew.
Yeah.
Or at least Mike did. Thanks, butthead.
I know. And again, I love this part where you're like... And then you realize... that, wait a minute. Maybe this wasn't what it looked like.
Did they luck out? Or did they luck out?
What?
As in, did they luck out with just a warning? Or did they luck out?
There you go.
With their plan.
Even though I'm kind of like, they would have searched them.
Yeah.
Like, realistically, they went to a government facility. They would have patted them down at least, or went through their bag.
And unless that was, like, on her person, I doubt they'd let her keep the bag.
There we go. Mission, like now everyone, like this same point in season 1, everyone has a mission.
Yeah. Leaving Hawkins.
Looks like Cheerios.
I know.
So clearly. Love those lights he has around his door.
I know. So wrong. I was just thinking, so you just leave those on? What a waste of electricity.
Uh-oh.
Gross. Somebody needed tissue.
Here we have a very alien moment here. The shedding of the skin.
The little ET thing right there.
Yep. Like I said, remember that whole Gremlins analogy?
I know.
And I kind of predicted that this might have been what Dart was.
Yep.
Wait for it. There we go. The Demogorgon. But it's kind of interesting that apparently, like, the Demogorgons kind of stay at these quadrupeds. Apparently, probably, I guess, until their final molting or whatever you will do.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool. It kind of reminds me of the difference between the alien xenomorphs in the first two aliens and the one in the third one, which was it came out of a dog, so it was like on all fours and stuff. So it kind of moved differently. It had the same basic look and behavior, but yeah, its movement was different, which I thought was kind of cool.
Ew, what's that? Gross.
Gross.
Looks like I found this sewage leak.
But yeah, it almost kind of feels like something like when you find oil from deep down. It's like whatever this epicenter is, it's literally like spreading. Mm-hmm. Oh.
It's like, what the fuck did I find?
Yeah. You really need to bring your deputies in on this.
I know.
You gotta stop going this alone, man. Some big ass graboid tunnels.
Mm-hmm.
I love how they shoot this.
I know.
And they flip it upside down. It's like, yep, that's where he's at. Or more or less, that's what's coming in.
Yeah. It's like seeping in.
I know, I love how they do this shot.
It's so good.
I know. Well, folks, there you have it. So that was Chapter 4. We'll see you guys back again for Chapter 5. Peace!
Peace.